The Towson University men's basketball team produced the CAA Player of the Week. All that and more coming up on the Tiger Basketball Report, which starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Market's ice cream plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and it's locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl, chocolate covered pretzel. How could you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Welcome, fans, to another edition of the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas, along with head coach Pat Skerry, and coached the Tigers with 2 home games this past week and a mixed bag. A great comeback victory against William and Mary on Thursday night. Then on Saturday, a comeback that fell a little bit short against Elon. Let's start with the Thursday game against William and Mary, and your team was down by 10 at halftime, but it looked like a different ball club that came out in the second half.
You know, we really had trouble guarding the three-point line in both games in the first half, which is disappointing. That was kind of the key point coming in, so that message didn't get across. Our focus wasn't. We have 11 threes and a half against William and Mary and 10 and a half against Elon, and Elon melted those last couple of minutes of the first half and probably created too much of separation, you know. So 2 good teams, 2 high-powered offensive teams from the three-point line. We just couldn't guard them. You know, we didn't guard them. It's something we usually do, but we didn't do. And I don't think we played great against either team. I thought the guys are playing hard. I thought obviously tremendous individual effort from Zane Martin to bring us back and win the game, William Mary, and then in Elon get it back to 5 points with the ball with 47 seconds left. Other than that, you know, I thought we took a step backwards, so we've got to quickly regroup to get a couple steps forward.
Well, you mentioned Zane. He wins the CAA Player of the Week this week. He had 35 points against William and Mary, which tied a CQ Arena record for most points scored in a game, most ever by a Tiger. Then he comes back with 32 on Saturday. The odd thing about that, he only had 2 points at halftime. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked to me early on in the game like maybe Zane was trying to force things a little too much.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, you know, you look at I always try to evaluate guys on their points per shot, and his points per shot are pretty good. You know, when you're a scorer, you're going to take some shots. He's our best scorer and our most talented player, so he's got to take some shots. I think the one thing, and I impressed this to our team, was that in our 5 wins, he's shooting 47.4%. In our 5 losses, he's shooting 47.4%. That's a fact. So it's not, to me, the amount of shots. I thought we missed as a group a lot of easy ones, or pressed a little bit against Elon early, and then that maybe drained our energy defensively. The one thing I've liked about Zane, though, is when he misses some shots early, he's pretty intelligent in figuring out how they're playing them, and he adjusts to that. And certainly Saturday was an example of that. You know, I think with him, what we've talked about is, much like a lot of guys, our assist-to-turnover ratio in wins is markedly better than in losses. So, and he's just as guilty as anyone. The other point is our guys have to understand that they need to star in the role that they've been given. When they do that, we're pretty good. So that also means getting him shots, getting Mike shots. When our guys star in the role that they've been given, we're pretty good. When we get a little bit out of that, maybe thinking, I can do this, you can't. Not against good teams, and that's not what allowed us to be successful. So that's something we got to quickly correct.
The Elon loss, I mean, you were down by 19 at halftime, and there are very few teams that are going to come back from a 19-point deficit at halftime. You guys almost did. You got it down to maybe 6, I think, in the second half.
Five with 47 seconds. We missed Brian missed the layup in the lane.
How much energy does it take? And you also see this a lot in basketball. As a team is down by a lot, they come back, they take the lead, and then they end up losing anyway because it takes so much energy to come back from that big deficit. At halftime, what do you tell your group when you're down by 19?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we didn't guard threes. That was a big emphasis coming in. And I think with our group, when the ball doesn't go in the basket, what happens is it seems our communication really breaks down. And we had a stretch defensively. We looked like the Keystone Cops out there. 2 guys stunting, all of a sudden, 2 guys run the same way. And not anything that would be intentional, just it's from a lack of talk. And one of our themes, defense, always is to trust the talk. Well, there's no talk, it becomes hard in rotations and scrambles, especially in teams that shoot it. Then you do expend a lot of energy coming back, but I always say the guys will obviously got to play with energy, so you probably didn't play with it early, so you probably have enough to get back in it. Like I said, the second half we tried pressing and a couple other things. We fouled too much. He really kind of brought us back. It just, like I said, for whatever reason, I think we let our this is a better group we've ever had offensively. We have the #1 rated offense in the conference, according to Ken Baum. We also have the #2 rated defense, which shocks me right now. Normally when you do that, you're like 9-1, 8-2.
Right.
So we're not, which means to me we've had some breakdowns in close games, whether that's talk or staying in our role. So we've got to kind of get that intangible piece fixed in order to win some ball games.
What it does tell you, though, the talent is there. There's no question about that.
The potential, the ability's there. Part of talent is, talk and accept and all that stuff. So it's there. We've got to make a conscientious, focused decision to make sure we kind of stick to the script.
All right, so the Tigers go 1-1 this past week. They've got 2 road games coming up against Delaware and James Madison. Tune in later this week on TowsonTigers.com when Coach Skerry and I will discuss the games against the Blue Hens and the Dukes. So for head coach Pat Skerry, I'm Spiro Morekas. Thanks for joining us for another edition of the Tiger Basketball Report. And as always, go Tigers.